Welcome to Toledo Rotary, and especially our speaker, fellow Rotarian, Dr. Romules Durant, who will tell us a little bit about Toledo Public Schools today. Before we get started, I would like to take just a moment of silence in a second here to remember our longtime Rotarian, Rome Marinelli. Most of you remember Rome. He was 92 and died just recently. Rome was actually when I first joined, they assigned a mentor to new members, and Rome was my mentor. So he would sit at the table with me for several months, and he was a pretty special guy. So let's just take just a second here to remember.
Rome Marinelli passed away.
He was a special guy, I think.
All right, thank you. I would like to invite first Gary Murphy to deliver a reflection, and then Janina, you're going to follow with the Pledge of Allegiance. So, Murph.
Just go. As our schools reopen, grant our superintendent, administrators, teachers the strength to do the right thing to protect our children from the deadly COVID-19/Delta menace. Be with us and them to attempt as best we can to carry out the high ideals of our club and your commitments. Thank you for this day and the fellowship of these with us here today. Keep us mindful of the many opportunities that exist for us to render service to the less fortunate in our community and the world. May we all carry out the Rotary ideals and be of benefit to all humanity. With our world so divided on almost every topic and situation, let Rotary and Rotarians lead us to a more cohesive existence for all people. We ask this in your name. Amen.
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 Thanks, Murph.
If you're not already standing, please do so now. This is the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thanks, Murph. Thanks, Janina. Also, I'd like to thank Eric Fankhauser, past president, for sponsoring our August weekly meetings. And Eric, he's a smart businessman. He got the biggest bang for his buck. It's the only month of the year where there's 5 meetings. So Eric, you got the deal. Now I would like to see if anybody has any guests. And if you do, you can note it in the chat room and we can get you unmuted. Anybody? Anybody guess with a guest? Okay. Since there's no guests, if there are, you can put it in the chat and we'll still pick you up in a second here. Just some updates. It looks like Kathy, our executive director, Kathy, her last meeting will probably be on November 20th, and Abby will be here through the end of September. Our new executive director, Jackie Bugai, will be introduced on September 13th, and that's actually our next live meeting, and we will be back at the Toledo Club for that. One reminder that for your committees, if you got any grants to look at, the FAC is on September 24th, so you got to be ready for that. And I see something in the chat. Nope, that's nothing to do with a guest. So,
President Bob,
Yes, Kath.
You said November 20th. My last day is September 20th,
Oh,
or my last.
I was trying to keep you around. Sorry.
Yep, just want to be clear on that. Don't want anyone to.
My notes say September. I just
Okay,
can't read.
yep.
All right, thanks. So I would like to introduce Candace Harrison, and she will introduce our speaker, Dr. Durant.
Good afternoon, everyone. Before I got into my introduction of our speaker, I wanted to give just a fun fact. So Dr. Durant, who serves as my boss here at Toledo Public School District, and I met in 1994 when we were both in college at University of Toledo, and we started our journey as colleagues together at Greyhound. And I always talk about how when he had downtime, he spent all of his downtime studying, doing homework, being very diligent on his academics. I spent all of my time talking to other colleagues, probably bothering him while he was trying to do homework, making friends with the customers, and putting out fires. So I think it's safe to say at just 18 and 19 years old, our career paths were already destined. So with that, he went in to be the leader of the school district, and I am his fearless communications manager. So with that, I'll get into his introduction. Dr. Romules Durant is the superintendent and CEO of Toledo Public Schools. He is a 1994 proud graduate of Waite High School. He went on to receive a Bachelor of Education in 1998, a Master in Education in 2002, and his doctorate degree in Educational Administration in 2007, all from the University of Toledo. Go Rockets. Dr. Durant began his employment with TPS in 1999 and has served as a fourth grade teacher, a dean, an assistant principal, and assistant superintendent before being named the district superintendent in 2013. Under his leadership, TPS has shown exceptional growth in the following areas: overall student and career technology enrollment, STEM education, and the development of several magnet schools and community partnerships. The district has also shown gains on the state report card in a number of key areas. While his honors are many, and when I say many, I don't even know, we would need the rest of our afternoon to go through them all. Dr. Durant has never lost sight of the fact that he has the same goals today for TPS students as he had for himself: to rise up from modest means and achieve success first in school and then in life. Toledo Public Schools continues to grow and show progress and share the good news that makes our community TPS proud. So it is with incredible honor that I introduce to you my boss, my colleague, and my friend, Dr. Romules Durant.
Good afternoon, and thank you, Ms. Harrison. That takes me way back into the days of Greyhound downtown, and I always enjoyed that job. It's one of my favorite jobs. But again, thank you to President Bob in regards to hosting me and having me here as the speaker, fellow Rotarian. It is always an honor to be here to speak before you. And the last time that I spoke, as you recall, Kathy Tate gave me this TPS RD towel, because the last time I spoke, I was sweating so bad. She brought me a towel, so I still cherish this. I thought it was a very nice gift that she provided. And so, again, it's a reflection, in essence, of Rotary and everything that we do in regards to putting service before self. So what I'm going to do to you is take you through Mac Cover 2020. I mean, I heard a conversation about Mac Cover, say we're no longer going to do Mac Cover how it used to be. We evolved into a 2020 mindset in regards to, instead of waiting for industry, we're taking education to industry. And I'm going to take you through this process of Google Earth, as well as other things. So not only can I speak to it, but you can actually lay eyes on what you're seeing in regards to the partnerships, but more importantly, the connection to career opportunities, but at the same time, look at economic revitalization. In essence, and when I start off saying that we educate you here, so you ultimately work here, so you can live here. And when you begin to look at these schools that we have projected as we built out, and by 2023, we will have each one of them built out. But again, this gives you a good sense of what to expect. So one that many of you have heard of is the Aerospace and Natural Science Academy. Here it is. Some of you have never been out to the airport. I'm bringing you airport to you. This right here, this facility that's set right here, this is the Aerospace Natural Science Academy, which we took the agriculture program that used to be at Macomber, aviation program that used to be at Macomber, put them together to justify an existence of a building. Where do we put it? At the airport. But understand, the goal in mind was that the program should build enough enrollment on each side of the house to become its own destination. We've gotten to that point, and I'm going to take you as we get through this point. But again, it gives you a good sense in essence. This is the school. This facility was about empty for about 20 years. We had collaborated and partnered with Port Authority. We had shared the cost, and renovating this facility is now a state-of-the-art educational institution for the Aerospace Academy. Many of you don't recognize we have our own hangar garage. This right here is our hangar garage. We have 3 airplanes, 2 that are airborne and 1 that's grounded and still turns over on the engine. We have 20 to 30 different engines that students work on as part of the power plant certification. People, we're talking about rocket scientists. We're not talking about just general students, but students who actually understand the combustion jet engine that you see day to day. But more importantly, let's talk about some of the programs that you can expect to get at the Aerospace Academy. So if you take a look here, make sure I share my screen. This right here is the programs. Take a look here, and we talk about the Aerospace Academy. Again, we have gotten to the point that the enrollment has had a waiting list on both sides of the house, aviation, natural science. The aviation school is now going to become Toledo Aerospace Academy. Again, we are generating around 250 students per side in regards to per school. The goal will be around 300 for each of the locations. With the Aerospace Academy, we have developed a strong relationship with Delta Airlines. We are one of 2 school districts in the country that have this partnership. The other partnership is in New York City, which is a great partnership that we're moving into this year. Toledo Metro Park, along with Bowling Green, are all part of this partnership. A big key partnership that hats off to Rotary. Take a look at this partnership. This is Ohio State partnership for our pre-pilot program. You want to know where this partnership came from? It came from Rotary. When Rotary invited John Horak, the Associate Dean at the Ohio State University of Engineering and Aerospace, he had spoke on this forum. I made sure to contact him. We had developed a relationship after Rotary, and we now have an all-out partnership between Ohio State in regard to its bachelor's degree pathway as well as its certification. So when you come to the school, take a look in essence of what you could expect to achieve here. Again, in regard to the curriculum, sophomores, in regard to all students coming in, all students are required to go through the drones licensure FAA 107, meaning these kids will be licensed coming in as freshmen immediately. We want to get them involved in getting licenses and certification, so when they graduate, they have a portfolio, not just a diploma, but a portfolio of certification as well as potential associate degrees. Take a look at here. They can be certified in airframe or power plant. Again, airframe is the bodywork of the aircraft, but the power plant is the combustion in regards to the rocket science engine that is within each of these aircraft that you see and fly out in regard to plant aviation. Students can earn both certifications while in high school. At the same time, we have the partnership with Delta Airlines. Take a look at essence. Delta Airlines has guaranteed us the top 5 students of the aviation portion from each class is promised an interview with the Delta Airlines. Again, not only will we have our internships, but more importantly, them coming and doing their teaching, we now have opportunities for these kids to be employed with Delta Airlines. They have already brought us $65,000 worth of equipment for our students to learn off of. At the same time, Ohio State is providing the pre-pilot class. Again, if you read a newspaper last school year, you saw we had students getting pilot license at 16 years of age, right after they received their driver's license. Again, these students are very progressive in regard to taking advantage of the opportunities as you see here. They are using this collaboration with Ohio State in regard to course that aligns to the pre-pilot program, as well as the collegiate aviation degree. Again, pilot licensing happens on the site of location. And so we're excited about all the things in essence of the partnership with Delta Airlines, the partnership with Ohio State that has made the Toledo Aerospace Academy where it's at. We're a better place to learn than at the airport. Well, guess what? That's where we took the school in regard to its learning. But the natural science portion of agriculture, we now have a waiting list for that side. This year is the first year for the Natural Science Tech Academy, which will be located over at the Metro Park. I'm gonna show you on Google Earth in a second here, but let's take a look at the credentials you can receive at this school. Again, you can get into agricultural business. There's one thing in regards to one thing growing, but at the same time, there's a business side that you become the next Asian grill like PK in regard to how you generate organic agriculture as a part of a business. Plant science, animal science, all these programs. We will have the pre-vet science program, which will work with an individual from the zoo who will provide this program to our students, that those who are looking to become veterinarians will literally be on the fast track in regard to achieving their associate degree as well as a bachelor's degree in the vet science. Again, these students will have honors diplomas, at the same time required to do a senior internship as well as a capstone activity as part of their graduation. Again, multiple entities and partnership within this location, but more importantly, let's talk about in essence of the location itself. So if I share the screen and show you in essence where the Natural Science Tech Academy is going to be located. Well, here we go. Here's the location. People, let's take you visit through where we're at right here. Reynolds Road runs here. Bancroft is running right along here. This is Botanical Gardens. This is Hawkins Elementary. We have converted this to a STEM academy. Science, technology, engineering, math, and medicine. Project-based learning happens at this school. In order to prepare for industry, they want team collaboration. Project-based learning is where it happens. This elementary from pre-K to 8th grade focuses on just that. But here in regards to the new location, take a look at here. This is where the Natural Science Tech Academy. If you look at the square area in here, we're building that out, which is the courtyards. We're adding classroom build out on the end of the building, which will allow us to put core courses within this facility. These greenhouses are 2 years of age. We have just renovated these greenhouses. So to give you a good sense in essence of the collaboration that's happening on this campus, we're excited to be able to show you in essence the Metro Park in regard to our partnership of all the things that we're doing with them. So just take a look here. Here is a better map in regard to take a look at those who have the advantages of living in this neighborhood. Again, Botanical Garden, this is Hawkins STEM Academy, this is the Aerospace Natural Science Academy, and the Metro Park. If you see this black line right here, this was separating the two campuses. There were 2 layers of fencing as well as vegetation completely separating these entities. We are both public tax-paying entities. We had gotten rid of the fencing line. We had torn out many of the vegetation and made this an interconnected campus around natural science. So again, if you look at this yellow line, this is the bike path that will run between this entire campus in regards to getting the community engaged as well as our students engaged. Whether they're going to the Botanical Garden, coming to the STEM Academy, we enlarged the park here for those who are coming. Their kids can take part of the park here in regards to the playground, a soccer field. Take a look here. We are erecting right now, going through zoning, the Animal Unleashed area. Again, if you want dog whisperers, you got to understand the science behind understanding animals. This space is designed to do just that. The instructor is a former worker at the zoo. He understands what it calls animal enclosement areas, where you begin to really rely and build upon the instincts of animals within this sector. But again, an amenity to the community to take advantage of. We had just erected a barn right here. This barn now houses all our livestock. So many of our instructors were taking these animals home. They now can house the animals in the barn. At the same time, we have well over 200 amphibians and reptiles that are part of our greenhouse. We are one of very few school districts that actually can handle alligators in high school. Again, why? Because we have state-of-the-art rock star instructors who are certified to do so. So if you ever want to come into this, again, truly begin to get to see it, that if you ask yourself, if I want my child educated, what better place to do than the #1 Metro Park in the country? This is a partnership between TPS, Natural Science Academy, and the Metro Park system in regard to students taking advantage in regard to industry. But more importantly, we have aligned our certification programs to this location. So we're excited in regard to the Metro Parks again. What happened? We partnered with the Metro Parks again. That provides an essence of an offset of how we built some of these programs out, because they have also financially supported things that are happening on that campus. So we're excited because if you see, we had aviation. Where did we take it? We took it to the airport. We have Natural Science Academy. Where did we take it? We took it to the Metro Park and Botanical Gardens in regard to bringing industry or education to industry. But take a look at here. Here's the next location. This right here, for many of you who've been around in Toledo for a long time, this is the old DeVilbiss High School. Now currently the home of Toledo Technology Academy. Again, we're doing great innovative things at this school. More importantly, we continue to scale to make the school more and more essential in regards to the world today, but more importantly, when these kids graduate. So if you take a look at this wing right here at the facility, this now will be the home to 3 community colleges: Owens Community College, Terra State, as well as Northwest State. Again, one has advanced manufacturing equipment that it can provide. Owens has the associate degree track, as well as Terra State is filling in between. Again, these students now will build into their schedule not only high school courses, but they will be required at some of their periods to take their college courses within the wing on their campus. They do not have to leave. We are also busing kids from the Start High School Advanced Manufacturing, Scott High School Advanced Manufacturing, who are all coming to this location to take advantage of an associate degree in advanced manufacturing. Again, if you saw on the last campus, we had an elementary. McKinley Elementary used to be on the other side of Central over here. Guess where we put it? We put it right across the street from Toledo Technology Academy. We made it a STEM school. Again, science, technology, engineering, math, and medicine, completely focused on project-based learning. The classrooms are all project-based setups. Again, aligning strategies and collaboration that ultimately transitions into the high school. But also, if you read in regard to, we're excited because right now it passed through the House. We're hoping it passes through the Senate. We have received a federal line item from out of Marcy Captain's office of a $1.25 million. Take a look here. This is the old football field. This is now the location for the electronic vehicle center. We're hearing all the conversations about electronic vehicles in regards to the preparation, in regards to development. We now have on this campus of the Toledo Technology Academy an electronic vehicle center that will not only train our kids, not only get them certified, but UAW, we have partnered with Mr. Toddy, in regard to UAW workers, will also come in the evening hours to also be trained electronic vehicles. Again, we're in the mecca of the auto industry. We now have an advantage because we have a high school as well as a post-secondary that leverages the ability and opportunity to train individuals for the future yet to come. Again, more and more percentages are becoming more electronic vehicles. It's going to be the thing of the new. Kids need to be prepared for it, ready for it, so they can ultimately go out and work to it. Again, we got an airport. What do? We got people with ability. We took advantage of our airport. We had the #1 Metro Park system. What do? We took advantage of it. We are in the middle of the auto mecca of manufacturing. So kids should be have the ability to have a degree, have certification that allows them to stay here. This provides that opportunity of not only post-secondary, not only in regard to the manufacturing era, as well as electronic vehicles, but you can see a kid going from 3 years of age all the way into an associate degree right on this campus. Again, the manufacturing industry is our 3rd highest employment within the city of Toledo. You know what the other #1 is? Medical industry. So you say, Dr. Graham, what do you think about now? Well, guess what? If medical is the highest employment agency within city of Northwest Ohio, we need to create a medical high school. You are now looking at the home of the Pre-Med Health Science Academy. This is the old ProMedica. This is the old Toledo Hospital. At one point in time, we were being pegged to possibly have demolition, but through conversation, we will now have a high school dedicated for the medical science right here. What used to be the old ambulance entrance now is going to be a bus entrance. But again, where are we taking these kids? We're not telling medical to come to the schools. We're bringing the school to you. We're going to be within your building. They're going to learn your culture. At the same time, the best learning takes place on campus. So you say, Dr. Rand, what can they earn at this location? Well, I'm excited to tell you because I presented it to a few different associations, but take a look at here. Here's what we've been working on this a few years. This is going to run 9 through 12. My goal is to get it 7 through 12. But again, through the partnership, we agreed to go 9 through 12. You will have 72 students per class, freshmen all the way up. At the same time, at the Toledo Hospital, the partnership is going to be between ProMedica as well as University of Toledo. At the same time, kids will earn their honor pathway, diploma pathways. Take a look at here, the opportunities here. When you come to the school, you have no choice to either get an associate degree or on track to finish your bachelor's degree. So let's take it here. When you go to the school, at the end of the day, if you say, Dr. Durant, I'm just looking to get an associate degree, that's fine, but you're going to have to stack it on credentials. So what does that mean? That one, all juniors getting a 2-year degree has to get an STNA certification. At the same time, they stack that certification with another certification. That stackable credential is either phlebotomy, pharmacy tech, certified medical assistant, medical professional, or biomedical engineering. These kids can earn an associate degree graduating right out of high school. You say, Dr. Graham, my son and my daughter want to become a medical doctor or want to become an RN. Great. We have the pathway for you. Right here, you can go into pre-nursing, pre-med, pre-biomedical engineering, or the health career pathway. Again, if you're talking about a child who wants to become a doctor, they have the ability to get a high school diploma. They will be already in pre-med, almost over halfway done, in order to get another 1.5 years to complete in pre-med. We're working on with the University of Toledo. If these kids maintain a 3.5 or higher, they will get an automatic match into the University of Toledo, which means they can waive the MCAT. Again, the dollar and significance of savings. One, I had a gentleman said, hey, I'm sending my kid to private school, it's going to cost $60,000. He said, I'm going to send him to pre-med, it's going to cost me another $60,000. I'm already $120,000 in order for my son to get a good match into the next medical, in the medical field, he's going to have to do well on his MCAT. So I'm paying $15,000 for a tutor. You're telling me that a child could go through all this and get this for free. I'm telling you exactly that. Taking advantage of the opportunities, but more importantly, because we educate you here, the highest employment for medical is here, means you're going to live here. Economic revitalization 101. But again, we're excited in regard to the impact it's had, in regard to the opportunities kids can get here within Northwest Ohio and the Toledo region. But at the same time, in regard to take a look at other opportunities that we provide within TPS. Again, the magnet schools completely in regard to the enrollment, in regard to, we have 40% of the kids who come into our magnet schools come from outside of Toledo. I could completely fill all these schools 100% with kids from outside. But what we do is we work in a tier. 1, are you in TPS? 2, are you a family member of TPS? 3, are you in Toledo? 4, are you in Northwest Ohio? 5, are you in Ohio? And the last is from Michigan. And there's people who are literally moving out of Michigan, getting an address here in Toledo just to get into these schools. We'll take a look at here. This is Toledo Early College. People, welcome to the home of the new renovated Driscoll Center, which is the new home for Toledo Early College. Once at Scott Park campus, is now right here. Take a look at here. This is Toledo Early College, and this is main campus. Here's the one thing that the kids love. What? 1, they're on campus, but they're not on campus. But 2, the kids, you know what they love the most? Here are all the classes. Here's where all their halls are at. They're only within 2 minutes to every hall. The normal typical students got to come way over here from Parks Tower, International Dorm, Carter Hall West, in order to get over here to the campus. These kids have immediate access to the campus, but more importantly, at the same time, have a home of their own to come back in regard to enjoyment of their peers in their high school years. So it's saying, you say, Dr. Ant, what can they get there? Well, let's take a look. These kids come here, you're coming to Toledo Early College. Either you're going on a career pathway or college pathway or both. You could do either or all here in TPS. But here's the thing. When you come to school, you have no choice again to get a degree. Either you're going to get an associate degree in general studies, communication, criminal justice, health information, nursing, psychology, or public health, or you're working on a 4-year bachelor's degree in the College of Engineering, all these sectors of engineering, College of Education, Honors College, as well as the College of Pharmacy. Again, these students are achieving 3/4 of a bachelor's degree. Every kid on average gets 40 credit hours of college credit at this campus. Kids start taking college courses in 8th grade. 8th grade. That means you got 4.5 years to get as many college courses as you can for how much? For free. It's based on stretching taxpayer dollars. Instead of taxpayer dollars just paying for a high school diploma, get a certification, get a degree, all those things within your taxpaying dollars. This right here is taking taxpayer dollars to a new level, but more importantly, taking kids and getting them a serious advantage, not only career-wise, but financially, because they're graduating with little to no debt within it. So again, Toledo Early College has been an excitement in regards to that. Again, Toledo University had partnered with us to renovate that facility. We split the cost. Again, if you look at all these opportunities, TPS is not ponying in 100% of the cost. It's because of the partnership at these locations help subsidize these costs that makes it feasible financially for the district to do it. But here's the thing. These schools do not take from the general fund budget. They make enough revenue to survive on their own. They make money for the district. So when people say, Dr. Durant, you have not asked for new dollars, I don't plan on asking for new dollars. We don't plan on asking for new dollars because at the end of the day, we use a fiscal algorithm that allows opportunity and investment to pay for itself with an ROI that gives return on investment to not only scale the district, but begin to scale our staff in high quality means. So again, we're excited in regards to the Pre-Med Academy. At the same time, here's one that I'm really excited about. Many of you who are within the financial institutions, you already know, in TPS, we have Jones Leadership Academy of Business. It is a business high school. You have to wear a tie and a suit jacket. You want to attend this and be part of the business sector, that's what you need to do. This is an image of what we're building out right now as we speak. It'll be done in 2 weeks. This is the Bloomsburg Financial Lab. You heard what I said, it's Bloomsburg. These kids will have 12 terminals to the New York Stock Exchange. Immediate terminals within this. They will have dual monitoring system as well as the monitors all around it. This will look like Wall Street, but the goal is we got to bring Wall Street into the urban community. They got to understand equity beyond just owning a home. If you want a little bit of Microsoft, let us show you how to do this. If you want a little bit of Amazon, let us show you how to do this. Let's show conservative from a CD to a bond, to an index, to an ETF, whatever that is, into general stocks. But at the end of the day, if you don't teach this mindset, people end up working for money for the rest of their life. Our mantra here is that you should no longer have to work for money. You make money work for you. That's what we do as a district when we do innovation, invest to get return on investment, to create other opportunities. Here's the opportunity that's created, but these kids can create opportunities for themselves as well as a community. These kids will graduate with a certification from the Bloomsburg Academy. Again, Michael Bloomberg out of New York City, they were astounded to know that we were interested. We are one of 2 public high schools in the country. The other one is in Miami-Dade County in regard to the Bloomsburg Lab within the school district. So they're excited about that and wanting to put that out there publicly. But most of the time, what they said to me was, most of these are at wealthy prep schools that parents pay for in regard to wanting their kids to be exposed to the stock market. But again, this gives a good sense of what we're doing at Jones Leadership Academy of Business. Again, we said business is broad. We can't take this school to the business aspect, but we could bring the business aspect into the school. One of the biggest business concepts around marketing and stock market, we decided to bring the Bloomsburg Lab within the center of the school, which is built out from the library into a classroom. We're excited because we will be doing a press conference when it's finished. But again, it began to show the opportunities in regards to kids graduating, not only with certification as well as potential degrees. They have an opportunity to do this at 0 cost that allows them to have a financial advantage to continue to invest in their future. So we're excited in regard to providing these career tech opportunities. One of the ones that's not listed here that we're in the midst of working on right now is the Construction Trade Academy. So you're there with the Construction Trade Academy. If you're not familiar, in essence, is that we have 16 trade unions within Northwest Ohio. We are generating a school, a magnet school, just like the rest of them, that only focuses on these 16 trades. Meaning at the end of the day, here's where opportunity is here in Northwest Ohio. We got to prepare our students for this. They're talking about a multi-billion-dollar construction investment in the city of Toledo, Northwest Ohio. If you don't have these people ready, that $1 billion will be left at the wayside. You're going to be bringing people from out of state, out of town, doing all the work, getting paid. That money doesn't stay here. This gives us the ability to keep that here. More importantly, it begins to focus on the talent of kids who truly are focused and aligned to the career trade sector. But again, this is working in partnership. We're currently looking for a location, but at the same time, this is a future endeavor that hopefully we could peg out to 2023 that ultimately we could have done. But here's the thing. By the time we get to 2023, we will have 7 thematic career magnet schools. We will have more magnet schools than we will have traditional high schools. So you're saying, Dr. Rand, well, what are you going to do about the traditional high schools? You got 6 of them. They're feeling a little bit left out, and this is what we're doing. We're creating a school within a school concept with our academies. So right now, Waite High School has the Construction Academy. If you listen to the announcement last week, we appreciate and thank you, Owens Corning, for giving us a gift to support that endeavor. So kids now can go through construction, they get a construction certification, a welding certification, a carpentry certification, pre-apprenticeship, all right out of Waite High School. That's the school within it. It has almost 300 students in that program. 80 of them are females, very competitive within that school. But again, it shows an academy within the school. We're going to launch a performing arts at another traditional school, an honors college and the others, and we're trying to decide on the last 2. But again, that way these schools have an academy within a school that kids come there for focus, but they don't feel left out. But here's the thing, these magnet schools are competitive. Everybody, your child wants to be in the medical field, everyone won't get in. But in TPS, you can either go that route or you can go another route within the district. So if you don't get into Pre-Med Health Science Academy, you could take STNA at Scott, you could take the STNA at Bowser, you could take the Med Tech program over at Waite. We have it within the district, so you have 2 ways of getting it. You say, Dr. my child wants college credit. Twitter early college isn't the end all be all because we have College Credit Plus with 12 associate degrees built into 6 traditional high schools. You want college credit, you can get as many as you want by doing the work and staying to the grind, which we have a little over 1,000 students each year taking college courses. So we're excited in essence of the opportunity within that. But at the same time, when you begin to talk about the impact in regard to what it's having within the district, you know, some of these things such as what we call a placement rate. So let me tell you in essence of understanding the placement rate. By the state of Ohio, it's called the 3 E's. The 3 E's are when kids graduate from your career tech program, are they 1, either enrolled in post-secondary, 2, are they working in industry in the relative field, or 3, are they enlisted into the armed forces? Take a look at it. This is the data I'm showing you. Coming in 2014 when I came in, 45% of our kids were engaged in enrollment in post-secondary, enlisted in armed forces, or employed, which means we were graduating students who were depending on the system and putting the burdens on our tax base. But take a look at today. We have 96% kids are either post-enrolled, either employed in a relative field, or enlisted into the armed forces. These are kids contributing to the country, contributing to the economic stability of the city of Toledo. We cannot drain our system with these type of numbers. We have to add to the system in order to revitalize the city of Toledo. We are #1 among urban school districts that have kids placed in one of the 3 E's. Our students all graduate, a little around 95% who are part of a career tech program. We have added 2,200 students into the career tech program. We have around 7,000 kids in career tech. That's more than some of the school districts have as total students, well enough within career tech. We have the most course offerings in career tech in Northwest Ohio. We have the 2nd highest apprenticeship placement. And at the same time, you're saying, well, Dr. Andy, these are in the career sector program. Almost 50% of these kids go into post-secondary colleges. When I say our mission and vision is college and career ready or both, that means exactly that. Just because you're in the carpentry program does not mean you're not going into post-secondary. All these things, and what we do is we put degrees aligned to the post-secondary. So when you see you're increasing the numbers into career tech, it's increasing the enrollment graduation rate. Why? Because you're giving kids a focus. So you're saying, well, how does that impact your graduation rate overall? Take a look. I show people every day, look, coming in 2014, hey, you are now the new superintendent of Toledo Public Schools. Your current graduation rate is at 63.9, which is the lowest out of the urban 8 and one of the lowest in the state of Ohio. People, we went to 79. We are now projected, our report card is going to be launched in a month. We will be at 82.3 graduation rate. I can't change water into wine, only Jesus can. But we're working miracles where we're actually producing graduates at this rate when 82% come in not prepared for kindergarten. Think about this, 82% come in needing intensive intervention in kindergarten. I went through the buildings last week. We got kids who don't know the first letter of their name. We have kids who don't even know their real names because they've been called by a nickname for so long. It's unbelievable, but at the same time, we're turning 82% of interventions into 82% graduation, which is huge in regard to, imagine if you gave TPS 82% kindergarten readiness. Give us 82% kindergarten readiness. You haven't seen the graduation rate. But again, this in regard to the 4 years. Those who don't graduate in 4 years, take a look. 2013-14, we're at 71. Again, we're the lowest. What's in the Ohio 8 as well as one of the lowest in the state. We're now projected at 85% for the 5 years of 2019-2020, which is always a lag year in how they do graduation rate. People, we went 71% to 85%. Again, 85% of those who don't graduate within the 4 years. We have the highest rate of poverty as well as the highest rate of homelessness in the state of Ohio. Still meeting all these challenges head on and getting these kids across the finish line. We're excited to see all those things because they're truly making a difference, because why we have focus and orientation on career tech. Putting more and more kids into career tech allows us the ability to, one, give them a focus, two, build upon what they're strong at. You say, Dr. Ian, well, how do you go about identifying the career tech programs? We just don't do it because back in the days, if you were a student who didn't behave, go down to the shop class. If you're a kid who went on pace, go on down to the shop class. We use data to put these kids into these programs. We use Naviance in the 5th grade. It assesses kids' strengths and weaknesses in the 5th grade, which is the most essential time to get focused on careers. If you wait for young ladies in the 8th grade, it's too late. They totally have allowed the social system to change their mindset about math and science. You get them at 5th grade, they are hungry for math and science, which has helped increase our female enrollment in all our career tech schools as well as programs. Because we got them at the 5th grade, we built on their passion in 6th grade, and then they made a selection in their major either in 7th or 9th grade, depending on if they go through a 7 through 12 or a 9 through 12 school opportunity. But again, regards to these things, all these schools, we're launching 7 schools. You may say, Dr. Durant, well, how are you paying for these? Well, like I told you, I truly invest, and we work this district just as we do our own personal finances. One, we have a reserve fund. We max the reserve fund every year as an emergency fund. As we do, we max those out. Two, we develop return on investments on projects that allows us to create money from other opportunities. People say, well, how is the community supporting? We have the highest passage percentage in the history of TPS. We're at 100%, 5 for 5. We have the highest support in an individual levy in the history of TPS at an average of 70% for the last 3 years, which is a huge support in essence of saying that the community truly appreciates the innovation, creativity that we have created within the system of TPS, giving kids opportunity bigger than what they see in their everyday lives. They are seeing realities that they have not been exposed to. Why? Because we took the school to that location. If I've never been around a medical doctor, guess what? Not no more. You'll see medical doctors every day now at this school. You will have an exposure that others do not get to have, which truly is really where the education truly happens. So when you look at essence and saying, here are all the programs, well, let's take a look in essence of all the programs that we have in TPS. So I'm not going to take you through each one of them, but I want to give you just a good sense because we have a catalog and I can share it with Rotary in regard to sharing to everyone else. We have over 40 programs. All the programs are listed. Here's what we do. What we do is, one, we do the Naviance assessment in 5th grade. We start getting the kids exposed to saying, here's the career tech program aligned to your strengths. Here's the career aligned to your strengths. Here are the certifications you can get in broadcasting. Here's where you get, here are the careers, here are the industry credentials. Same way with graphics design. The same with medical tech, med office, information system. At the same time, CAD engineering, advanced manufacturing, advanced electronics, cosmetology, fashion, teacher program, carpentry and construction academy, CAD technology, remodeling, repair, welding, construction again in regards to the electrical side of the house. At the same time, accounting again. These are all programs. We have around 40 programs that kids can elect to go into within the traditional high schools and get certification as well as college credits within it. One of the programs that we're launching, one of the people said, hey, I was just in a principal meeting the other day. Dr. Grant, what are you guys doing in regards to transportation? Can't nobody get anybody with CDLs. CDLs aren't out there. People are not working. Bus driving is very hard to come to. What do they say? The Board of Education, our board, and thank you to our board members, because they have supported these endeavors wholeheartedly. Mr. Vasquez said at a financial meeting, what are we going to do about this? Fine. What we're going to do is create a CDL program within TPS. That's exactly what we're going to do. So that's what we've done. We've already had architects out. We've already done the drawings. This now is Rogers High School. If you can see, this is our parking fleet. We have around 200 fleets of buses within our fleet. We are now reconverting this entire campus to create a CDL driving pad for kids to get CDL, get hours, time, license, as well as maneuverability skills in order for them to get a certification. Kids will now graduate in May with a CDL certification and will be driving buses in August. It's a frightening thing to think about. An 18 or 19-year-old was just taking classes in May. Now they're driving the bus in the neighborhood the following fall. But that's the reality because they're doing the same on your airplane. Like I tell people all the time, somebody said, oh, I don't know about that. I said, well, who you think's working on your airplane? When you fly to friendly skies, who you think's out there working on that jet engine? One of our students. Because we're one of the only institutions to provide the education. So again, sometimes I tell the teachers, make sure you're nice to those kids, because when you want to look out that window, you want them to give you a thumbs up when they're looking out the window. But again, this is creating opportunity to be a solution to your own issues. In regards to that CDL program, truly is going to make a difference within the district. We're excited to be able to have those opportunities and so forth. But again, these are the multiple programs in regards to one, taking industry to location. At the same time, doing it in a way that we aren't going to impact the tax base in regards to the tax dollars in regards to levies. So when people are always saying at the same time in regards to understanding how we generate these funds to create other opportunities to create other schools, but more importantly, one, if you saw in the presentation, we educating you here. Two, what you saw is we identified locations that allowed you to work here. Job opportunities are open in these schools that provide you a connection to industry. If you connect in that pipeline, you are now living here, which has really revitalized the whole economic strategy within the city of Toledo and Northwest Ohio, because you've given an alignment of education, an alignment to industry, an alignment of staying here in residency, which truly makes a difference within it. And we're truly excited to be able to do these opportunities. In 2013, we passed a levy with the first levy in 15 years for TPS. If some of you recall, I know the news do, because they only have to ask me every year. You said, Dr. Ray, you're not going to ask for new money for 10 years. That's exactly right. We're on pace to continue to do that in 2023. At the same time, we're looking to expand that because we're pushing to say not only 10 years, we're doing fairly well in regard to our strategies. We could do that. We'll push it out even further. But at the end of the day, I do not believe in generating and getting your tax dollars without strategically being invested and understanding things that we could do opposed to always having to ask you. And so that's one of the things that community appreciates the most, is that you're creating these opportunities and you're never holding it above our head and saying, if you really want this school, pass the levy come November. If you really want this program, pass the levy come November. No, we're going to bring it to you. And at the end of the day, make you excited and make you TPS proud in regards to what we do and what we offer. So with that said, I appreciate it. And I'm going to take this time to open up for questions because I know I've put a lot out there and a lot of information. But again, like I said, I got a lot of parents who are contacting me wanting to get involved, enrolled. Had one parent who said, you know, Dr. Grant, my kid, I got a 529. My kid's college already taken care of. I said, that's great. Let me tell you about this kid. This kid right here is still going to take advantage of this opportunity. They're still going to get college for free. And guess what? His parents, they're going to gift him the 529. They're going to gift it to him at graduation. They're going to put it in an S&P 500, tell him he can't get it out for 10 years. He'll have financial independence by the time he's in his 30s. Your child, well, you paid all that money towards college. He's just getting started, or she's just getting started. Change his mindset, enroll his child as well as a few other families that lived in the same area in regard to the same strategies within itself. But again, continue to be innovative, continue to be creative, and providing opportunities for those who live in the city of Toledo, Northwest Ohio. And so we're going to continue to push the envelope and continue to push that. So with that said, I'm going to open it up to questions, because I know we got about 10 minutes. So I need to give you 10 minutes for questions. President Bob.
That was a fabulous presentation. Really enjoyed it. Let's give him a hand. I got one quick question I'm going to ask.
Yes.
You got all these great programs and all the technology, and how can you afford the instructors that their kids are going to make more than they are as soon as they get out of school?
So here's the thing. So particularly when you're talking about an education, if you notice, let me give you a fact. Since 1992, when I was a sophomore in high school, all the way till we started in 2013, we have given 31% increases in salaries to staff. Since I started until today, we're at 41%. You can't scale salaries if you don't scale the organization. When you scale the organization and create revenue, you're able to scale salaries. We have now created competitive salaries in a way that want people to go into it. But more importantly, to one answer to your question is that when you identify the Naviance report of person's strength, just like a Rotarian put service before self, people put their talent before monetary value. If you're passionate about what you do, passion will pay for itself. You are the LeBron James, whether it's in the classroom or wherever else it is, you are the expert within that area. People pay for passion. And so these are some of the things that we're aligning kids to their passion. But at the same time, we continue to scale our educators, be able to get rock star educators in these career sectors, because our retirement is very great compared to the current industry. So it becomes some sort of recruitment, but it's a challenge based on the region. People want to be in warmer climate, other things. So we run up against the same challenges as other industries, but we've been very competitive in our pay, but at the same time, very strategic in our marketing and messaging about educators coming here saying, hey, I could teach in aviation. I could teach in advanced manufacturing. I could be a plumber and teach here, or I could be whatever that is. I mean, I had a student in 4th grade. All he has is certifications, but guess what? He's the teaching barber instructor at Scott High School. Why? Because he went and got a certification, and he's the same educator as I was. I went and got a 4-year degree in education. He went and got a certification in barber school, and he's teaching barber at a teaching salary. So again, there's multiple ways of coming at certain things, but you know, as we continue to scale, it provides opportunity to get some of the best instructors, but those things are always going to be a challenge, President Bob.
All right, I'm going to let Matt or whoever's running the thing go through and activate people for questions.
John Wasserman is next.
Hey, fantastic talk. Really appreciate your being in the community. Can you tell me how COVID is impacting going forward the next couple of years, everything that you've talked about?
So, very good question. COVID has been a huge, again, anytime that something happens, such as an epidemic, whether it's drugs, human trafficking, or a COVID, it impacts many times your impoverished area the greatest. Those who have the most challenges, it multiplies sevenfold. COVID coming in and being remote, people just off the grid. Can't find them. I mean, people are shacking in different residencies. Many people have moved out of the state. And the challenges within TPS and what people don't recognize when I say, you have no idea the challenge of public schools. I said, I have to find every child. If we don't find them, they're a zero. If we don't find them, they're a dropout. That kid could have graduated, this year. But for all we know, he graduated in Texas. We weren't able to find them. And at the end of the day, that wasn't able to be reported to the state. So it ends up, so the challenge of trying to find these kids are enormous. And at the same time, you know, education, I think every superintendent can tell you, never in my wildest days did I think educators would become public health, giving directives on public health. And opposed to us being guided, we're actually making these decisions for the bodies of the state. And you have districts just totally, just type in YouTube and type in board meeting around COVID mask and see how destructive school districts are going through right now across the country. It's unbelievable. The number of people are getting arrested at board meetings over what's going on with COVID. It's unbelievable. And I've just been blessed. Some of us have been blessed in Northwest Ohio that we still have the same mind of coming in here and being constructive about our conversation. But it has been a huge challenge, not only on the student side. Depression is at its highest. You know, they're just happy to be back in any way, shape, or fashion. And as you can see, some of these things are spilling out into the community, which is some of our challenges. And as of that, many of these things go on in the community, our kids are exposed to on the way to school, away from school, or just playing in their neighborhood. So those have kind of been our greatest challenges. We're continuing to take on depression head on. We put health centers in each of the high schools. We put telehealth at each of the elementaries with our partner with Northwest Ohio. And so we're just excited just to continue to do this and always putting the kids before ourselves, just as Rotarian put service before self.
Thanks so much.
I think we have time for about one more.
Mary Mancini is up.
Hi, Dr. Durant. By the
How are you
way,
doing?
I gave you that towel, not Kathy, because I introduced you last time. That's okay. Kathy and I are good friends, and she would do the same thing. Okay. I would like to ask about students who come into the various academies from out of district.
Mhm.
Does TPS get Ed Choice funds for those students?
For a public school students, it's not necessarily a choice, but they get it's pretty much state dollars. State dollars follow the child.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay, so that's part of the reason that these schools can actually make money for the district, correct?
Well, understand what it is. It's based yet in enrollment. So if you get dollars per child, if you get more children, you get more dollars, you get more enrollment. So when you get more enrollment, you're able to scale the dollars. So yeah, so by us getting more kids in, but at the same time, like you said, is that when you're getting kids who are not in TPS, so let's just say they live in Toledo and they go to a private school or they go to a charter school, they choose to come, but they're not in TPS, so the dollars that followed them had followed them back into the district.
Thank you.
Thanks again. I don't know if you'll be able to stick around after for any time there. I know there's more questions in the chat room, but I do want to say that towel has my initials on it.
Hey, and you're a TPS Proud graduate from Waite High School. That might have been your towel that they gave me.
Thanks again. Thanks for your presentation today. We're going to send you a copy of Historical Tales of Toledo, authored by past President Clint Mock. And we're also going to make a donation to the Polio Plus Fund for you. So thanks again. That was fantastic.
Thank you. Appreciate you. Thank you, Rotary.
Okay, Chuck Mann, you are up to help make us laugh. I think Chuck is somewhere out there.
He is.
Thank you.
Lurking, I think he's lurking. You're all friends of mine, right? More or less. Let's see, shall we? A couple lived near the ocean and used to walk the beach a lot. One summer, they noticed a girl who was at the beach almost every day. She wasn't unusual. She would approach people who were sitting on the beach, glance around, and then speak to them. Generally, the people would respond negatively and she would wander off. But occasionally, someone would nod and there would be a quick exchange of money and something that she carried in her bag. The couple assumed she was selling drugs and debated calling the cops, but they didn't know for sure. They just decided to continue watching her. After a couple of weeks, the wife said, "Honey, have you ever noticed that she only goes up to people with boom boxes and other electronic devices?" Then she said, "Tomorrow I want you to get a towel and our big radio and go out and lie on the beach. Then we can find out exactly what she's doing. Well, the plane went off without a hitch as the wife saw the girl talking to her husband and then leave. The man walked up the beach. Well, is she selling drugs? The wife asked excitedly. No, she's not, he said. Well, what is it then? What does she do? The man grinned and said, she's a battery salesperson. Batteries, cried the wife. Batteries? Yes, he replied. She sells seashells. She sells seashells by the seashore.
Thank you, Chuck. Appreciate that. Next week, we don't have a meeting. It's Labor Day. We also have, remember, the Solheim Cup is already starting this week. Big showcase of Toledo. I know they're going to show a brief video of next week's or the 13th program. So, Matt. All right, thanks everyone for attending. Thanks Romulus. Hopefully you can stay on for a few minutes. There's no committee meetings today, so we are adjourned.
All right.